Our third place winner is Aliya Sharif. Her poem was titled Compassion Towards the Needy. Aliya, I think you are online because I thought I saw you before. Do you want to read your poem aloud for us?
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Compassion towards the needy. When we see needy, why do we get so greedy? Why do we turn away? Why do we not think right away? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who made us all. He gave us everything, even if it is big or small. He is our creator. He is our sustainer. It is Allah who gave us everything, so why don't we at least give a thing? Even if it is big or small, something at least that will help them all. It is not what we give matters for Allah, it is the niyyah what matters for Allah. May Allah make us of those who show love, compassion, and mercy for all. Ameen.
MashaAllah, very good.
Wonderful.
Sister Jamina and Samantha, you have any words for us after listening this poem live?
Absolutely. Mashallah. Congratulations, dear. It was a real treat to be able to just read the beauty and the language that was used, and the beautiful enthusiasm. You could really tell that you were reading this to us from your heart, and a lot of passion went into this. So it was just so beautiful to experience and to be able to kind of enter your world. So thank you for inviting us into your world. Well done.
Exactly. And
Should we snap? Should we?
yes, snap for
Yeah.
poetry. That's what we do. So even if you're muted, snap snap for poetry.
Yes.
Yeah,
If we
and
were all live, we could do it, as a group.
yes, next year.
Inshallah, next year, yeah.
Yes, it was very clear that you put a lot of thought into your word choice and into your rhyming structure. So very well done. Very, very pleasurable to read and listen to. And your delivery is very, very passionate.
Thank you. Moving along.
Thank you.
And in the second place, we have Safa Faisal's poem called Rain. She is a fifth grader. Safa, are you with us tonight?
Yeah,
Would you like to read your poem for us?
I don't know where it is.
Okay, so I can play your poem for everybody else who's at home. So let me just try to.
Raining all morning while we say good morning. Eating breakfast in a dark, gloomy room, waiting for it to be afternoon. Eating lunch, watching the poor.
Hold on, let me just maneuver a little bit of this thing here. Then. Is everybody able to see this?
Yes, we can see the video.
Wonderful.
I like this
Yeah.
video.
Yes.
Okay, let me play.
Raining all morning while we say good morning. Eating breakfast in a dark, gloomy room, waiting for it to be afternoon. Eating lunch, watching the pouring rain. Look outside and watch it rain. Waiting for the rain to stop. And my dad doing his job. Watching TV till dinner. The rain stopped! We can finally go out! But it's too dark to go out with no doubt. Thank you.
Man,
It was beautiful.
man,
Wonderful.
that is our reality right now in the winter.
Yes.
Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
The song that I really enjoyed, mashallah, congratulations, that I enjoyed about this one was, even in the poetry world, in the performance realm, we don't always get to experience a visual that comes along with the words. And so I think that it was just really fascinating that you were able to adapt your artistry to this platform, and to provide that visual. A different visual really kind of draws us in. And so and then also just the tone of voice, the simplicity of it was all very well rounded, mashallah.
Yep, Safa, you made me laugh out loud. I read this and I just could very clearly picture every child right now that's doing Zoom school, just sitting at home, especially in the Pacific Northwest. It's like it's raining, they can't go outside. It was perfect. And one thing that poetry is perfect for is capturing a feeling, and a feeling of like I just felt like there was so much anticipation, and like time was dragging on so much. And yeah, you made me go back to elementary school with this one. So thank you.
Thank you.
I especially like the, like, the cat and the pictures of, like, it really brought it to life. So moving along, the number one winner for our submissions is Salma Ammar, Muffins in the Oven. Do we have Salma on the call?
Yes.
Hey, assalamu alaikum, Salma. Would you like to read your poem aloud for us?
Okay.
Thank you.
Muffins in the oven. Putting muffins in the oven, using scarves that were woven, time to neighbors big and small. I am thankful for them all. Moon coming early with the night, stars and planets shining bright. Leaves of color till the end, jumping in pies with my best friend.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Well done, mashallah. This one was so lovely because your word choice, mashallah, was so beautiful, and it had such a fun rhythm to it. So you really just kind of brought us along on this fun, playful journey. Really well done with the imagery, with the choice of words. So mashallah, congratulations.
Absolutely. You really captured fall. Like you didn't ever have to say, oh, this is fall. You just like, you described a bunch of different things that we've all either seen or experienced. And you're just like, I feel this and this and this and this. And then I felt it too. And it was very beautiful. And you did capture the rhythm with your voice, especially with your presentation. Yeah, like we went on the ride with you. Very cool.
Yes, wonderful.
And then for the judges, do you have words of wisdom for the other submitters?
Absolutely. Mashallah, everyone who submitted, a work of art, it's always so challenging to make a decision when we talk about creativity, because everyone has such a different lens, that they come from. So truly, continue in your creative practice. All of you also, mashallah, are, practicing the sunnah by engaging in a form of creativity. This was the way of our teachers, and our prophets, so continue to engage in this creativity. It's very beautiful. And again, it's always hard to choose. Mashallah.
It really was. Like you might think we're just saying that, but they were all so good. We were very impressed with especially this category, but all of the categories as well. Like you all did extremely well. Be proud of yourselves.
Yes. And also one last piece to, everyone who has encouraged each of you to submit something, continue, whoever your mentors are, your parents, continue to cheer everyone on and to encourage them to keep going with their creativity.
Awesome, thank you. And then let's move along to our next next category that we have, and that is middle school submissions.
Woohoo.
Sister Jamina or Shannon, do you want to summarize the middle school submissions for us?
Yes, alhamdulillah. So we had 12 middle school submissions. So just a few more than our elementary submissions. These ones were, also really incredible, very competitive in the middle school category. And again, just kind of took us up a notch in the choice of words and the topics as well. So again, it was a joy to really listen and read through these as well.
Yeah, we really got to get inside your heads and see the world from your shoes, which was very cool. Lots of good stories.
Awesome, let's move along. So for middle school submissions, our third place winner is Nabil Faisal. Their poem is titled Winter Song. Nabil, do we have you on the call?
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, Nabil. Do you want to read your poem for us?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Winter song. Freezing morning, cold lawn, the loud wind is blowing a winter song. The changing colors of the leaves, they are slowly falling from the trees. Soon the trees will all be bare, the animals will have no shelter there. So forget about your summer days, now winter is showing us its ways.
Awesome. Sister Jamina and Samantha, any thoughts?
Yes, mashallah. I really love the title of your poem. It really gave us a great introduction into what we were about to experience, mashallah. And the way that you wrote it really was, like a song. And its flow and its flowy nature in the imagery. So, mashallah, congratulations.
Yep, absolutely. Your imagery stuck out to me. That was my favorite part about this poem. And I love our weather vibe that we've got going. We got rain.
Yeah, reminding us over and over about our weather situation. Thanks.
We chose to live here. Well, maybe not all of us.
It's also really beautiful, mashallah, that, so much emphasis on nature. And I think that really also brings us, as adults, it really kind of brings us back into that natural world of our fitra, of our natural state of play and getting grounded in what is around us. And so I always really, really appreciate, when young people tap into just our environment, the natural environment. So mashallah, well done.
Awesome. Moving along. Our second prize winner is Zainab Mabre with her poem called Garden Gate. Zainab, do we have you on the call?
Yeah.
I think you are muted, Zainab, because I do see you on the the list of participants. Okay. Would you like to read your poem for us, Zainab?
Can you play the recording, please?
Okay. Zainab Mabre, your middle school. So hold on. Let me just maneuver through my screen. One sec.
Congratulations, Zainab.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Yeah, I'm just trying to move the submission. One sec.
I opened. The only source of light was the
Hold on one sec. Then I'll move it here. I hope everybody can see this.
I opened the garden gate with no light to illuminate the path of my midnight stroll, unaware of what awaits my soul. The only source of light was the sun of the night, blurred by the branches spread outwards, towering over the trees of the orchard. My ears delighted by the musical tune, more alluring than the whispers of the moon. The hush of the night, the wind sailing through the trees, falling, tumbling, drifting leaves. Step by step, I placed my foot onto the grass, strolling through the path. I didn't talk. Preserving the silence of the night, I walk, stumbling through the roots of my orchard of fruits, dangling from the narrow long branches.
Thank you.
So well done.
MashaAllah, mashallah. Zainab, this was truly, mashallah, such a treat, a true treasure, mashallah. I loved, the video, how you, not only was it called The Garden's Gate, but then behind you, you were representing your poem very well. So the imagery physically, as well as the tone in your voice, really, really, the tone was just really matched the whimsical creativity and the energy of your poem. So I really enjoyed that, your tone of voice for sure. Also the descriptions, the word choice was very, very intentional. Had a very sweet gentleness to it. Mashallah. I also really enjoyed the metaphors that you used. I was very impressed by that. mashallah. One particular description when you were saying falling, tumbling, just kind of bringing us along every step of the way, choosing to drag your words in specific areas. So it had a very musical tone to it. So that definitely, touches the heart, the soul, and as well as the ears, mashallah. Congratulations.
Absolutely. It kind of felt like the beginning of a novel. I don't know if you write stories, but if you wanted to, this could be the beginning of a very cool one. You know how some fantasy novels especially have poems mixed in throughout, and I think you got something there. Like, I want to know more about this character that you're describing. So that's a very good sign of a good poem, because you left us wanting more and you brought us in so deep that, like, I feel like I can connect with this person.
Awesome. Moving along, for our first winner, we have Iman Sheikh. The poem is titled Save the Trees. And Iman, do we have you on the call?
Yes, you do.
Okay, would you like to present your poem for us?
Yes.
Go ahead, my dear.
I am 500 years old, lived through high and low. I've seen kids playing with fathers who soon grow up to have sons and daughters. I've seen my friends get chopped down and turned into chairs, spread over glassy lands for people to have their affairs. I've seen seasons come and go, winter, spring, fall, and summer unfold, animals relying on me, holding up and falling fast asleep. I've seen friendships grow and break, dogs fetching your owner's stick, kids taking shelter to cry. Oh, how I've seen sad things in my time. But I stood, my head high, giving shelter to people that come by. I treat them with kindness and respect, making fruits for them to get, but they cut me down in a sec, not giving any of my kindness back. I'm now at a table in the same park. I watched them plant a tree in my same old spot. But it is not the same, for I had stayed and I had gave all of my kindness, but none repaid. You may plant a seed to make up for your bad deed, but it'll take years to grow. If it'll survive as long as me, I'll never know. Save the trees, justice for me. You'll miss the solace under my hue. What a disgrace. Shame on you. That's my poem.
Thanks, Iman. That was great, mashallah.
Thank you.
My son is saying he wants to write a poem, so you guys have all been very inspiring. He's 3, so I think we need a 3-year-old category.
Mashallah. Snap, snap, snap. Again, well done. Mashallah. I mean, as you all can hear, this is, again, you made it all very challenging for us to choose, Iman. Just a few things that I wanted to share that really stuck out. I love how you drew us in from the very beginning, talking about 500 years old. Right away, I was, drawn in, like, oh, I want to know more about this. So it had a very timelessness to it, mashallah. And then, you did this really unique thing where you brought us into the world and the life cycle of a tree. So that was, very unique, mashallah. There's so much wisdom, so many things that we can learn from nature. And you really reminded us of how to be with nature and how to be in nature. And so you brought an element of mindfulness. You got the audience, of reflecting and thinking, at least me anyways, mashallah. And then also it had this beautiful element of, it brings up personal memories. I think that everyone can identify having some kind of childhood or adult, or some type of memory with a tree. And so how special of a relationship that is, mashallah. And then lastly, you brought in an element of empathy. It's so important as stewards of the earth, as Muslims, to make sure that we are very mindful about the way that we, to tread lightly with nature. And so you brought in that element of being able to empathize with Allah's creation. So you left us with a lesson and some action items. So alhamdulillah, thank you for being a teacher to us.
I absolutely agree. I think the perspective was really unique. Very, props to you for coming up with this idea to tell us a story from a very old tree's perspective, like an ancient tree's perspective. Like that tree could teach other trees a lot of things. And then, a lot of people would write that poem from a human's perspective and it would come off as very preachy and like, oh, we got to save the trees. But this is a tree yelling at me for cutting it down. And I'm like, I'm so sorry for all the hurt that I've caused to this tree and all the things that that tree has seen. It was very powerful. Very good job.
Okay, awesome. I felt it was very Pacific Northwesty kind of poem, so I really liked it.
Spot on.
Obviously, I lack the wisdom to appreciate as much as Samantha and Jamina, but it really spoke to me as well. And then let's move along. But before we do that, for Samantha and Jamina, any advice for our middle school submitters?
Yes, so alhamdulillah, just across the board, again, I would just want to reflect to continue reflecting and thinking about, your world around you. Nature is always a really fun place to start. And so, just to kind of start there, nature has its own natural beauty. And so sometimes it can feel more accessible to tap into as a writing point, but, whatever it is that you choose to, continue to write about, just, coming from the heart and it being sincere, because when you're sincere, your passion comes out and it really comes alive, and we get to experience parts of your heart and you as well, and learn from you. So continue, keep it up. Everyone's doing a great job, mashallah.
Absolutely. And we got a lot of really cool stories in this category. And I just want to remind you all that, you're the only one of you, which means that you see the world from a unique perspective. So no matter how young you are, no matter how old you get, you will always have observations about the world that would never occur to me. And so, you, in a way, you owe it to the world to tell us what's on your mind, because we can't see it the way you can. So please share your thoughts with us.
And
I also wanted to add, just for middle schoolers, and Samantha, you actually you stole what I was going to say, which is that it's less advice about poetry and just more advice about it's okay to be unique. I know there's this pressure in middle school that you have to be just like everybody else, right? Dress the same, hairstyle the same, shoes the same, all that stuff. And the thing is, that's not going to last long, right? And creating this poetry right now, that's your unique voice. So continue to nurture it, continue to explore it, continue to find it. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be Muslim. I wish someone had told me that, I was the only Muslim in school growing up. It's okay to be different, right? You don't have to be just like everybody else.
And as someone that also started writing young, I want to encourage you to keep these poems and keep the poems that you don't like. Like, don't throw them away, don't burn them. Like, if you don't like them right now, that's okay. Put them in a notebook and hide them for now. But I have so much fun going back every once in a while and flipping through my poetry from 10 years ago and then seeing how much I've grown. And because I forget what I thought 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but you have this little time capsule of your perspective on the world. And it's a very precious thing because time goes a lot faster than you think it will. So it's nice to have that option to go back and see the person that you used to be.
MashaAllah. I would agree with that. That was very well said, MashaAllah. Just the importance of, I actually still have all of my journals from childhood. I started journaling at a very young age. And I still have all of my journals. I'm able to share, those with my 3 daughters now. And it's very special. And to be able to kind of see your own life's timeline in writing is a very, very powerful thing. And as many of you know, putting the pen to paper is, such a huge, beautiful part of our tradition. So, mashallah, continue.
MashaAllah, thank you so much for this wise advice. And let's move along. Our next category is high school. Do you guys want to give a brief overview of our high school submissions?
Well, in some ways, you guys made it hard on us because you only gave us 3 options. So.
Right. Absolutely.
So everybody encourage your high school friends to submit next time because we need more. But the 3 of you that did, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to read your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Let's move along. So our 3rd place winner is Asiya Sattar. And I think I saw Asiya logged in. Asiya, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Assalamu alaikum, Asiya. Would you like to read your poem for us?
Walaikum assalam. I'd love to.
Thank you. MashaAllah.
Okay, so my poem is called Find Your Place. Expectations as high as the sky to fly and not be shy, to live independently and not on anyone rely. It's not enough to just try, all odds must defy, and remember, do not cry. Perfection is expected. Doesn't matter how you're affected. If you feel neglected, disconnected, and rejected, keep your emotions hidden and protected. What matters is that you're respected. Dress properly, act modestly, live flawlessly. But why? It's okay to fall and sometimes fall. You're beautiful, imperfections and all. Stay strong. This journey is long. Sometimes like a beautiful song, sometimes wrong, but it keeps moving along. Yourself you must embrace. This life is not a race. Find your place, but at your own pace.
MashaAllah, very beautiful.
Jazakallah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Congratulations, Asiya. Alhamdulillah. This one was really enjoyable as well, particularly because it was lovely, just like we were just kind of noting, to stay encouraged. This one was nice because you were essentially giving advice to your, not only your peers, but you were giving some beautiful wisdom to the younger generation, which was essentially what our brother Adam was just saying, is just be yourself, mashallah. So that was really beautiful. It's always very impactful to hear messages like that from, your own peers, and you have such a strong voice and confidence in your presentation. So I also really enjoyed the rhythm and flow. It was very sage advisings as well. So I loved the level of optimism, mashallah. So it felt like a young wise soul is how it read in some ways, mashallah.
Yeah, and I think it also, I don't mean to project onto you, so that's the beautiful thing about poetry, is that I can get something out of it that you didn't even think about, but it feels like it's a little bit introspective, like you might be talking to yourself, or the speaker of the poem, not necessarily you, the person, but the speaker of the poem is talking to herself and reminding herself that it's okay to go at your own pace, and that, life isn't a competition, and maybe also talking to your friends, or, the speaker's friends. And the cadence was also like really matched the tone of the poem. And I don't always love rhymes, but I think your rhyming really fit with your tone and with the message that you were trying to go. You were just it was very flowy, and like I don't know, I get kind of a phoenix rising from the ashes vibe, like it's gonna be okay. I'm good. Like maybe things were hard before, but it's gonna be okay, and I know that.
Thank you so much.
Mashallah.
Then moving along, our second prize winner is Maryam Youssef. Mariam, I thought I saw you. I think you're also here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Congratulations, Mariam. Would you like to read your poem for us?
Yes, I can do that, inshallah. We're part of a generation dwelling over an expectation for great things to happen in such a short duration. That's basically the world we live in. We expect immediate results and resolutions. We expect minimal effort, yet instantaneous perfection. But when will we come to the realization that this is only in our imagination, and that without patience and determination, we will never be a successful nation? Flash back to the past. Prophet Isa alayhi salam taught for so long, yet the Hawariyin were so little, but he never gave up on the truth. To uphold it, to lift it, to spread it, is that not determination? Flash back to the past. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam called his people for 950 years. 950 years with them turning away and plugging their ears. Is that not determination? Flash back to the past when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went to Ta'if with a heart full of hopes and dreams that were shattered by their rocks and screams, and his blessed feet were drenched in his blessed blood, tears rolling from his eyes like a flood. Yet he had yaqeen that Allah would save him, aid him, embrace him, for Allah is with the patient. Inna Allaha ma'a sabirin. Is that not what it means to succeed? Our prophets fought and sacrificed to get the message of Tawheed thus far. But how many of us wear our Muslim identities proudly or hide, wanting to assimilate? As we're nearing times of hardships and trials, we must know the truth and hold tight to it. Rely on Allah. Inna Allaha yuhibbul mutawakkilin. Allah loves those who trust and rely on Him. Is that not succeeding? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verily, we shall put you to test with some fear and hunger and with some loss of wealth, lives, and offspring, and convey good tidings to those who are patient, who say when inflicted by hardships, verily, we are of God, and verily, to Him we shall return. Upon them is the blessing of Allah and His mercy, and they are those who are successful. These words remind us that our trials are but opportunities to grow. Everyone experiences a time when they feel so low, but the answer to hardship doesn't lie in wishful thinking, though. It lies in how we respond to the difficulties that we must undergo. Like when Musa's mother let her baby down the river without a doubt in Allah's decision. Like when Maryam alayhi salam gave birth to the word of Allah and He granted her provision. Like when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stood at the battles of Badr, Uhud, Khandaq, fighting for us for this mission. Learn from these stories. They were narrated to us for a reason after all. Don't let anything get to you. Rise after each fall. Learn from your mistakes. Improve after each fail. It's what we do that defines us. We can't let people's words or actions confine us. Remember, trials take time to perfect, and dreams can be difficult to protect. But obstacles can be overcome with determination and persistence. You can fight through adversity with a hopeful heart. There's a light at the end of every tunnel. You just have to do your part.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Takbir, MashaAllah. Wow, Maryam, MashaAllah. Thank you so much for, it felt like you graced the stage. That one, MashaAllah. The energy, the tempo, the timing of this poem, was just so spot on. I felt like I wanted to put you on a bullhorn, and have your voice, projected, and it had a very I have a dream kind of vibe and energy to it. So it really made me think of our ancestors and history, mashallah. But you came in very bold, and honest. It was like a beautiful, pure reality check, and from a young perspective was just really refreshing. And then also it was beautiful that you weaved in so many different parts of our history, and how history repeats, and how we can continue learning from our past, present, and future, inshallah, or to impact our future. So, my partner is a history teacher, and so history is so hugely important. And so the fact that you were able to tie that into creativity was just impeccable, mashallah. Also, the entire time that I was reading this and listening to it, I just kept thinking of, just that reminders benefit the believers. And that's, really what I felt throughout this entire poem. So, congratulations on that. So much emotion, and the various language, different languages that you used, mashallah, and still had such a beautiful flow to it. You could tell that you put so much deep reflection in this. And then you also gave us something to aim for. So well done. Congratulations.
Absolutely. There is a lot going on in this poem, definitely, which is good. It definitely gives us a lot to think about. You take us on all kinds of journeys through history and also through the present world. And I just love the way you tie it up at the end with the, trials take time to perfect and dreams are difficult to protect. But my favorite part is that, adversity can be overcome with a hopeful heart, like the power of hope and getting you through anything. And also the empowered tone that you take with this, and your perspective on the world is okay, there's a lot going on. I can't control it all, but I can control how I react. And as long as I have hope and I do my part, I will be okay. And that is all I can do. And that is all that is asked of me. But also that is what is asked of me. So it is important that I take action and that I react to the world that I'm in. Very well done.
Awesome. And then moving
Mashallah.
along to our first place winner, and it's Musab Chaman. Do we have Musab on the call?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Musab, would you like to read the
Congratulations.
poem?
Alaikum assalam.
Yeah, I can read the poem. So it's titled, What Do I Call It? What is it called? Do I call it Dad, Papa? Or can I still call it a middle-aged man? Or even that figure in my house who was there since day zero? Because in the end, aren't those all the same thing? You see, I found myself carved in an uncarved path where the mud would tint my shoes and the sand would pull me deeper. I found myself in a suspended fall away from everything. I found myself dangling at the edge of the cliff, my imbalance taunting me to fall, and I would run through the mud like a slimy worm scared for its life. I felt the pressure of the sun's blazing heat beating me down. I've shivered at the freezing cold of the winter. I've seen death and I've seen far worse than death. I've lived through oppression, lived through tense political climates, all events that pull me deeper into the sand. I've heard the screams of others echo through the night, yet there was no response. I've seen trains leave the station with many behind, and I've seen those people run after those trains only to be left exhausted and hopeless. I've seen people sail makeshift boats against tsunamis only to be left destroyed and hurt. And my hope for a better situation was second only to desperation. So I prayed and I believed and I cried and yelled till my lungs were full of exhaustion, till my vocal cords have strung their last note. And I lay there in desperation for something, anything, to come and help me carve that muddy, gross, depressing path. I lay there, falling asleep in the darkness. The fear was a blanket putting me to sleep. And in the last second before closing my eyes and falling into a sleep I know I would not wake up from, there was a light. A sliver, then a candle, then as if 1,000 flashlights shined on me. I was saved. That light shone on me. That light took a chance to carve my path towards love. And so I took that flashlight in my hand and continued on that path. The light carving that uncarved path in a way that made it easy to avoid those patches of mud and sand. The tsunamis may still come and those trains may still go away, yet the flashlight in my hand gave me confidence to overcome the next tsunami and catch the next train. And I'll be the first to admit I'm stubborn. Sometimes I don't agree with the flashlight, I'll attempt to stray from it. Yet I've always been proven wrong. I may be a bit naive, but that flashlight wasn't. I'm looking back, that light that closed Pandora's box, that light that carved my uncarved path, that tore away the blanket of fear, that light that gave me hope rather than let me drown in desperation, that light that taught me to never give up, to fight for what I believe in, and that light that taught me to see right through those lies that were bathed in a milky whiteness like vanilla chocolate. At least I've learned to call it Father. Thank you.
Mashallah. It's so subhanallah, so powerful, so personal, mashallah. Gut wrenching, just incredibly vulnerable as well. And I think that vulnerability is really, really one of our most great, one of our greatest gifts. So I just encourage you and all of you really to always tap in to vulnerability and lean into that. And you absolutely accomplished that with this. You leaned right in and you brought us with you. So bravo for your courage. And mashallah, there's this beautiful hint of humble wisdom that I really could appreciate about this artistry, this beautiful work of art. And lastly, I love that you really touched on over and over this concept of light and love, and that was actually your guide on the path. So inshallah, may that always continue to be your guide on the path.
Absolutely. Your narrative voice is super strong, and it's very cool when people take advantage of narrative forms in poetry. And it's also written in paragraph form for those of you that can't see it, which I personally love. But one thing, like the benefit of this format is that when you get to the line where you say, yet the flashlight in my hand gave me confidence to overcome the next tsunami and catch the next train, that like hits you in your soul because your setup is so powerful. So like if you just said that sentence with no context, I'd be like, okay, cool, good. But it has so much power behind it because of the way you set it up and the way you build to that and the story that you put behind it. So keep doing that and build on that, definitely. And I love like the overall arching, like there's like this lightning bolt of hope in everything that you guys submitted, which is just so beautiful, especially in 2020. Thank you for that.
I like it. As a dad, I like it.
Very deep insight, Adam.
Thanks, Musab. Thanks.
And
I
That
also
was,
just
thanks
know
for sharing that.
go ahead,
You're-
Sister Jamina, you were saying something?
Oh no, my apologies. I think I cut off our brother Adam.
Oh, I was just saying that, that the vulnerability that Samantha mentioned, I think harnessing that, I think it ties into what Asia was saying as well. She was saying that, there's a certain expectation of you, and then being vulnerable allows you to break out of that expectation.
MashaAllah. And let's move along. Our last category is adults. So this is 18 plus.
In this category, we had 2 submissions, mashallah. So
Okay, so our second prize winner is Afif Sheikh. Afif, are you on the phone with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. Congratulations, Afif. Would you like to read your poem for us?
Walaikum assalam. Yeah, I'd love to. So the title of my poem is Odd Lang Syne. It's a piece of our past, the driver of the present, and the cause for our future. Time is a mysterious thing, never here nor there, from the depths of the earth to the clouds in the air. It cheers for us in times of happiness and weeps with us in times of despair. From our first wails to our last breath, time patiently stands. Whether we are early or whether we are late, time is always there before us. We desire more wealth. We strive for change. We hunger for peace. But the only thing we need is more time. Time for our friends. Time for our family. Time for each other. A minute can be full of tears, those of joy and those of sadness. But never let the bad hide the good. The good food, the good people, the good times. And yet, there's never enough time. Always a dream for tomorrow, and sometimes the regret of yesterday. Rarely do we embrace the gift of today. Don't be the one who begs for more time. Be the one who uses it best, because the one who values their time is the one who time chases. Jazakallah khairan.
mashallah, congratulations, brother Afif. Alhamdulillah. This was as well such a treat because you drew us in, with a riddle, and I thought that was very unique. It certainly stood out, mashallah. And I also, this may sound a little bit cliche, but I thought that it was a very timeless poem because, it really does, it kind of stands alone. You could use it for any time period, any type of, wisdom and advising. So I really appreciate the level of depth in this one. And then also, mashallah, it was really wonderful to experience the vast amount of ways, beautiful descriptions that you describe time and how best to use it. Just giving the reader some suggestions and an element of hope. But I also, something that I wanted to note in regards to your tone when you read your poem is that one of the things that's so fun about writing and poetry is that it can be used for so many different works of creativity in different realms. And when I listen to you recite your poem, it actually reminds me of film narrators. It kind of took me back to just the narration of like 90s, and 2000s, early 2000s shows or sitcoms or youth or teenage shows. And I could totally hear your voice narrating, a storyline or something like that in the background. So I thought that was really unique and cool and important to highlight that, you can use poetry and writing for so many different realms. So well done, mashallah, congratulations.
Absolutely. Mild tangent. In slam poetry competitions, you're graded on 2 things. You're graded on your performance and you're graded on the quality of your poem. So if you're ever interested, anybody, in pursuing slam poetry competitions, that's something to work on. You can practice your delivery. So definitely good on that one. Yeah, I love the advice in this poem. And I just think it's kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm just projecting my own stress of work, but it just kind of reminds me to like take a deep breath and like come back to the present and like don't get caught up in what's going to happen next month or next week, because the only thing that I have is today. And the only thing I have is right this minute right now. And how am I going to use it? Am I going to spend it worrying about something I can't control, or am I going to live in this moment right now with you guys?
Okay, thank you so much. And let's move along to our finalist. First prize is Sister Anita Suleiman. Sister Anita, are you with us?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Congratulations. Can you read your poem for us?
Thank you. It's a whimsical one. It's called Once There Was a Musical Note. Once there was a musical note who dreamt of sailing on a boat. But how am I to go to even the floor below? And then he spied on TV the most beautiful deep blue sea, where seagulls dip and soar. It made him want to sail even more. Oh, what is that just off the coast, where the sun is glittering the most? He sees not one or two or three, but many boats out sailing free. They're probably happily catching fish. That is my very own deepest wish. He imagines himself enjoying the breeze while listening to the cackling of nearby geese. Oh, how I wish that that was me on one of those boats, happy as can be. But I am here, a musical notation. When will I ever know what it's like to vacation? I've only ever lived on this sheet. As music plays, I dance to the beat. I've only ever stood on these staff lines, never on these spindly legs of mine. Speaking of dancing, I have a good life. When people see me, we all get to jive. I have my friends, all the other notes. They're lots of fun, even though we're not on boats. I suppose it's quite normal to dream of being elsewhere just on a whim. But if we think about it, we can see we're right where we really want to be.
Mashallah.
That's beautiful.
Fantastic. Mashallah, Sister Anita. This was so clever. So very clever, mashallah. I loved the play on words, mashallah. And like you said, very whimsical, alhamdulillah. You know, as a mother myself, it really my first thought was this could absolutely be a children's book. Absolutely. I mean, you could just completely and totally imagine the pictures, the illustrations, and the way that you deliver it, the way that you read it, hearing it in your own voice. I could even imagine it being an audio story as well, you know. So, mashallah, congratulations. And I truly pray, inshallah, that you know, that this, you speaking this into the world, and that it does end up becoming a children's book, because it's absolutely fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. If I may say, that was the inspiration, my nieces and nephews. And my dream is to turn it into a book and find possibly maybe like children artists who could do the illustrations. And if you know anybody who could help me with that project, that would be, I think, pretty wonderful.
I absolutely do. Please, let's connect after this. That's wonderful. I'd love to support that endeavor, inshallah.
Yes, please let us know when that is published. I would love a copy. I could just picture this little character, this little music note that I feel like is now my best friend. And it was so fun. It was like such a refreshing change of pace to just like go on this little adventure of this music note that I'm totally like sad that he can't leave the page, and I want him to go on a boat and explore the world. And I want to just like take the music book on a boat with me so he can go explore the world. So yes, thank you for that journey. It was delightful. Absolutely wonderful.
Mashallah. So many more things to say about this one. So let's definitely connect afterwards, inshallah.
Inshallah. And with that, we come to the conclusion for our first Poetry Slam contest. I just want to say that I am super impressed with the amazing talent that we have in our community. And again, as I stress, right, you were just given 2 weeks to put this together, all original works of submission, mashallah, I am super excited for the next contest. So as you all know, I am the social person for on the maps board. I am looking for ways to keep you guys engaged with our community, and especially around family activities that we can do together. So if you have any suggestions how you think that we can stay engaged by doing more of these collaborative events, um, please just send me an email. And just a reminder for all the folks who submitted entries, I need to get those maps journals out to you. So can you please send me an email with your address? If you prefer to come to maps and pick it up, do let me know that as well. But and and especially for the winning entries, I will send out an email privately to see how best you can come and pick up your prize as well, or we can mail it to you as well. And one more thing is, after seeing all of this talent,
I just wanted to ask, where
ahead.
do you have to send the address?
I will send out an email, and then so the same email, it's going to be social@mapsredmond.org. So the same email, yeah, the same email that you guys submitted your poetry entries, just send me an email again on that same address. Um, I did reach out to you. So the email that you received from me with the Zoom link for today's meeting, if you can just hit reply and then just say my name is this, and that's my address for my journal, and then we'll get it shipped to you.
I did just post the email in the chat as well. And Sister Hafsa, I don't know if you mentioned it, but we are going to be posting the submissions on the website so everyone will be able to view them, correct?
Yes, so one of the things that we'll do is we will be showcasing all the entries that we have, because every submission is amazing. We will have all of this curated on our maps website, and then we will highlight the submissions in our Facebook post as well as our Instagram, so you guys can take a look and stay engaged with us. And then with respect to other upcoming events, right? If you guys feel passionate about debate competitions, or maybe doing an art contest, I would be very much interested in setting that up for our community, so that we can still be engaged at a safe distance, doing all of this remotely. So look forward to more engagements happening per month.
A
Right?
debate sounds like a great idea. I love to see a debate, and I'm definitely not tired of debates. After 2020, more relevant debates. Not with two people suffering from. Okay, I'm not going to go into that, but I will say thank you to Sister Hafsa for putting this together. I know she was stressed out. She was like, who's going to participate? Are there any submissions? And then mashallah, alhamdulillah, so many submissions started rolling in. So jazakallah khair, Sister Hafsa, for putting this together and for getting it going. I know for a while people were saying, oh, this would be a great idea if we had this, but Sister Hafsa actually made it happen. So thank you to Sister Hafsa for doing that and for putting all the pieces together. And thank you to our wonderful judges, Samantha and Sister Jamina. I think she's left now, isn't she? So I was looking for her image, but she had to go. But thank you to both of you for participating and for helping us to judge these competitions or these submissions. Alhamdulillah.
And I think Sister Anila also reminded that for the parents, please go ahead and participate in one more election activity. This is closer to our hearts. This is for the maps election. Tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is the deadline. So please go ahead and check out mapsredmond.org, and you'll find all the details of how you can participate in this maps election. And again, please get those suggestions coming to me, because I want to make sure that our community gets engaged, and especially for the kids, I want to make sure that the kids have a voice in how they engage with our community, especially with our maps community. So if you have some awesome ideas, right, or any ideas, just let me know saying, hey Hafsa, I think that, let's have a cooking contest, because actually due to COVID it got messed up. But I did plan like I was planning to have like a barbecue contest, like challenges with like couples, or like men versus women, all of those, like chef challenges. But inshallah, once COVID gets over, then we can engage personally. But restaurant ideas, if you have where we can engage remotely, do shoot me an email. And with that, I think we are out of time. Ustad Adam, you just want to say a dua and then we can conclude?
Sure. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all those who presented today and all those who submitted a poem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless your families and guide you and give you knowledge, beneficial knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you conviction and strength in your faith and belief in yourself and in your own abilities. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you great confidence. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you his light. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you to follow the way of his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah guide our community, especially during this uncertain time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us strength of iman and belief. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us strength in our souls. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to overcome the challenges and adversities. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter us into paradise. May he cure the sick. May he cure the sick, and may he forgive those that have passed. May he give patience to the families of those that have passed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfill the needs of those that are in need. May Allah alleviate the suffering of those that are oppressed and suffering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us in this life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us good in this life as well as the next. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خير.
Assalamu alaikum. Bye.
Wa alaikum assalam. Jazakallah khairan.